have made this organization what it is today. Yeah, we've been going to all the meetings and shaking our heads, more like this, shaking our heads. But until you came along, Mary, we didn't understand how successful we could be, and how much talent you could bring out of us, and you really have.
Thank you.
And I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
She works, and her husband works with her every day as a volunteer. She has worked endless hours past what her job requirement has been. She has weathered all kinds of storms with all the behind the scenes, which most people don't know. We have to be in compliance, which is a lot of detail work, crazy stuff that most people don't see what we're doing. And Mary has really brought us through it and got us to the point where we are recognized on a national level. And it's all good because it's all coming back to us.
I have to say that FLAG has been perfect for me as well. And I have 25 years experience working in nonprofit as an executive director. So all those things that Vicki was overwhelmed by just was another day at the meal for me. That's just something with all the compliances and government regulations and how to track and do things. So we were kind of a perfect fit. I love working for FLAG. I love my board of directors. I love my committees. I feel like hometown for me here in all three of the towns. I feel that I've been welcomed and that people work hard, and there's real hope for these three towns. Before I go any further, I would like to recognize that we have one of the Armstrong County Commissioners here, Commissioner Bauer. He's sitting over here. Thank you. I would especially like to recognize Armstrong County because if it weren't for the county, FLAG would not exist. The county applies for the funding. They're the grantees for the FLAG program. So they've got to put their stamp of approval on it, and they've got to watch over us to make sure we're doing everything right with the monies. And so I appreciate the county's continued support. Hope they'll continue to support us in the future. And in addition to that, they also provide us with a board member, as an advisory board member, Adrian Commodore, who comes to our meetings and kind of helps me with the process and what we're supposed to be doing. So it's been a good relationship between the county and FLAG, and I appreciate that. And I'd also, we all have our name tags on if we're on the board or on a committee. So I would like to just ask all of my board members to just kind of, if you're standing, just kind of put your hand up. I want everybody to see who makes this happen. This is the most committed group of people I've ever met. When I took this job 1 year ago, I couldn't believe they hadn't just locked the doors and given up. But they didn't. They continued to meet. They continued to try and make things happen. They made things happen, and they believed enough to put all they had into it. And so that's why it makes it so easy to go to work and work however many hours it takes to get it done, because I have partners working with me. And I have committee members here, because every organization runs by the volunteers and the people who make it work. And I have some of those committee members here. So if you're on a committee, would you please stand so people can see who our committee members are? Okay. And I'd like to thank that. These are the folks who put in all those hours, and all they get out of it is the gratitude to sit back and look and say, look what we did in our town. And I really appreciate them, and they do great work. Some of the things that happened this past year with FLAG since I've been here, and this is huge. We have national accreditation. We are nationally recognized as a great Main Street program by the national level. And that's not something that you just get, like you don't just apply for it and get it. There are a whole set of standards that we have to, they come out from the state and they have a checklist and they check all of these things. We met the standards. FLAG, Freeport, Leechburg, and Apollo is now part of the national accredited program. It opens us up to new funding. It opens us up to marketing opportunities. It opens us up to all kinds of training that we can bring into our towns to help make them better. They're coming out again in February. It's not something once you get it, you have it for ever. Every year you have to continue to strive to be the best. But again, I credit my board of directors who saw the importance of educating and professional development and allowed me to go for 1 year, consecutive months, sometimes twice a month, for training in Harrisburg for days at a time, and now I am a certified Main Street manager. Another plus for our flag organization, because those are the people who can apply for monies and do some things in their towns. So thanks to the board, they made sure that that was important. And you think, well, yeah, so I guess they would. Not true. People that were in class with me, they've been going to these classes for 3 and 4 years because their boards didn't value that status or that time put in to teach me how to be a good Main Street manager, where my board said go for it. Even though I was out of that office week after week, every month, it paid off, and so I was very grateful to them for that. I want to talk a little bit about what we do. If you didn't take a chance, if you do, take a look over at these posters that just kind of give you a little snippet of what we do, a little snippet. The design committee is responsible for going out and collecting applications for businesses who want to improve their facades. Look at Leechburg. Leechburg is a prime example of folks who took advantage of a Main Street program. Look at these streets. Look at what's going on here in the businesses. And that's the same thing all 3 towns have the opportunity to do. And we're starting to get better at getting out in Freeport and Apollo and getting people interested. But the businesses have to be willing to commit that money on themselves because it's matching money. We give them matching money to improve the way the downtown looks. We want a certain look. We want something that's going to be quaint and inviting and get people in here. It's important that we all work together. And just some figures, they're up here on this chart too. But from 2008 to 2011, FLAG funded 9 facade grants. Those 9 facade grants, FLAG paid $77,206.70. I'm sorry, that's what the businesses contributed. That's what these people that are here, like Linda and some other ones who have taken advantage of the facades, invested into this town. They could go anywhere. They don't have to be in Freeport, Leechburg, or Apollo, but they chose to be here and we chose to partner with them. FLAG put in $110,276.77. So from 2008 to 2011, we invested a total of $187,483.47 in Freeport, Leechburg, and Apollo. I say, wow. Do you think of your small towns in terms of those dollar amounts? These are small towns. That's a lot of money invested back into our towns, but it's really starting to pay off. It's really starting to show. For this current year, we talk in our program years go from July through June. So we talk about our program here. We have been given by the Department of Community and Economic Development, DCED, $20,000 to put towards facades just in this program year so far. To date, we've have one program completed. We have 3 approved and waiting for completion, but I have 7 additional requests, which takes us way beyond the $20,000 mark that we have to give to facades. But I keep taking applications. You know why? Together, we'll find that money. If we don't step out, if we don't go ahead and take advantage and say, let's start, let's have the faith that we can get that money here and do all 7 of those. And I have more coming. Think of what our towns can look like if we start investing another $187,000 in this next program year and the next program year. So we can't stop now. How do we get our money? We get it from the state, from the DCED, through Armstrong County. So there's already 3 partnerships formed there. And guess what funders like to hear? That you have partnerships. That you're not a lone wolf out there looking for money, but you're finding a way to spread that around, to do some things together. So that's where our base money comes from. And then we do pledges. And I'm not letting anybody leave tonight without one of these. These are pledge letters. And we're trying to get pledges. What FLAG has done in the past was get a 5-year pledge that has given the money each year to continue, because all these grants require matching funds that you raise locally. And they've done over $30,000 through pledges. And guess where a big portion of it came from? Individuals. And they didn't pledge big amounts, but they pledged. And everybody pitched in. And now this partnership rolls out into business people and residents alike. We also have some other great partners in businesses. First of all, the Freeport, Leechburg, and Apollo boroughs. They all pledge. And they all give us money every year because they believe that what we do here is helping their towns. Freeport Renaissance Association. They're a group in Freeport that anything you see that's beautiful in Freeport, Renaissance did it. Because they go out there and they support community. They have family events. These are all things, if you're looking to move into an area, you want to know there are things there, not only shops and jobs, but things for your family, your children, your neighborhood. They support all of that, and we do it in partnership, and they give us money and have for the past 5 years as a pledge through that. First Commonwealth Bank has been a super big supporter in giving us money every year for 5 years to support this effort. They're here in Leechburg, and I hope they see that these are the fruits that have come from those monies. It's not just been going somewhere. And then, like I said, all the individuals. So I hope all of you will give a thought about how you can support FLAG. Come on, folks, look outside this door. This is what FLAG can do in all 3 towns, but it takes you joining with us. We have our signature fundraiser coming up. It's called a Flagorama. It's March 16th. It's a great weekend for St. Patrick's Day. You get a ticket for a meal at Lindgrove Farms or Event Center. I don't know which you call it. I'm going just for that. But in addition to that, you're in that beautiful setting, wonderful food. There are gaming tables. There are tons of door prizes. There's also a chance, it's a reverse raffle at the end of the night. You get to win a chance to win $5,000. So it's a fun night out. It's a great thing to buy for that person on your shopping list that has everything. Buy them some tickets to the Flagorama. You can order tickets, buy tickets. You can look at before and afters of these facades. You have to go on there and look at the before and afters. This building right over here was Voitex Electric. It was condemned. And he bought that and he redid it, and it's beautiful. And you know what happens? Then he did that, and someone did another one. And then Linda brings the Twisted Thistle in. She's bringing tons of people in town. This is what we all need to do in all 3 towns, but it takes us pulling together. We need more monies for all those 7 requests that we have. We need monies to do our match for our grants. Some of the other things FLAG has done over this past year, I found out when I came in, we have an opportunity to get quality training through the Pennsylvania Downtown Center. They're part of the Main Street program. Free training to come in here for you. And all I have to do is request it. And they will come here and train us. So we've had a leadership training for the board. We've had an internet group site training for the board. What I'm trying to do is create a better way for people to communicate in the boards and committees so they can go up on this group site and things will be there. We've had design training. We had someone come in. There's some couple pictures over here. We went over to the ABC's Buzz Cafe in Freeport. It's one of the facade grants that we're working on. And we had the gal from Harrisburg work with us talking about what kind of things and working with the owner, teaching us some things that we should be looking at and why. So that was pretty interesting. We had a parking workshop here in Leechburg, maybe more than a year ago. And one of my favorite things that we do in training is biz-to-biz training. And you can see there's a shot up there of Billy Joe, who's on camera. She has AKLC Studios. She has a talent and skill in being able to build websites. How do you do it? How do you build your own website? Angela from the Buzz Cafe and Bob, the owners, they needed a website, but they didn't know how to do it. So I asked Billy if she would volunteer some time and go over and sit with Buzz at Freeport and teach him how to do it. So she and Angela worked together, and so now you've got businesses sharing. Billy Joe's business is here in Leechburg. She's over in Freeport. But you know what? We're trying to promote regionalism. There's a lot of talent here. I bet I could go around this room and each of you have some special thing that you don't think is valuable but could be so valuable. Now, if she had to go out and pay for that training, it would have probably cost her a lot of money. We're small businesses. We can't afford a lot of money. We have to help each other. So that's one of the things I'm trying to promote, getting more businesses to do. Think about it in your business. Is there something that you need training? Do you need some HR training? Do you need visual merchandising? Do you need marketing plans? Those are things that FLAG can get help through professional trainers to come in and do for you. Let me know. I'll be happy to try and put that together for you. FLAG is very committed and very involved in all 3 communities. Most of my colleagues across the state have 1 town. I'm a regional coordinator. I think there are only 2 programs in the whole state that are regional, and I have 3 towns. So I get to work with 3 borough councils, 3 mayors, groups, the organizations, civic groups and things in all of those 3 towns. It can be challenging at times, but it can really be rewarding too, because I get all of that different ways that people look at things, and it's wonderful. But some of the things that we're doing specifically, through a LACA dinner, I met the superintendent of Leechburg Schools. And he wanted something for his high school kids to do because they have to earn volunteer time to graduate. And I want young people to get involved because I want them to take over when we all step out. I don't want them to move away. I want them to be here. I want them to understand the value of these 3 towns and where they fit. And they happen to choose recycling. So we've been meeting with the teachers and the superintendent, putting together the program. We decided they're going to help enhance the recycling here in Leechburg. So they created surveys that we took out to the businesses. There's some pictures of us up there doing that. They want to know what kind of recycling needs do the businesses have. We're going to purchase receptacles. Their art club is going to design and paint the receptacles to go with the flavor of the town. We're going to have them go around to each of the businesses. We haven't decided how often, depends on the needs, but maybe weekly or so, and collect recyclables that they've identified. They're going to take them over to the school. They've been up to the recycle center to learn how to sort them. And they're going to go ahead and sort them. And then the borough trucks are going to take them up to the recycling center. So our goal is to get businesses more involved in recycling. Make it easier for you. One less thing you have to do. So that's one of the things that we are working on in the Leechburg area. Freeport, we've been working, Jean Miller is one of my board members and very active, and she noticed that the new bridge coming into Freeport, there's like a green space down there, but they're taking it out when they finish the bridge. And that's our gateway. We want people to come to Freeport. We want them to see it. So Jean asked if I would write a letter to PennDOT, and she graciously took it to them. I think it's just Jean. You don't say no to Jean. I just have to tell you that right now. She went, and they said, okay, we'll talk with you. So we've been meeting with PennDOT. Renaissance is involved. Freeport Borough is involved. We went as a group. We said, let's go as a united front. Let's ask this as one ask. And we said, we want that to be like a little park down there. So when people come in, there's the trailheads, all come right there in Freeport. So you've got all these trailheads ending. You've got watercraft. You have the Buffalo Creek, which they kayak and canoe on, and you've got the rivers coming in. Well, Freeport needs foot traffic. So if we could have something that attracts them right there, that they might stop there, maybe they'll come up and shop. So we're looking at this park with a nice sidewalk through it. We're looking at benches and trees and maybe some public art that we're working with the Gateway Greenway, or the AK Greenway program, so that all the trails with kiosks and maps and the businesses' little QR codes on there. So when people come in and they pull that kayak up to take a break and they say, hey, there's a coffee shop right up the street. You know? Now that's one of the ones we're doing in Freeport. And we think that that's going to be a really big attraction. We've got a long way to go, but PennDOT has been very gracious. And we've been pulling volunteers and we'll be collecting donations to buy those benches and do some of those things, but that's one of the other ways. Some other partnerships we have, I mentioned Freeport Renaissance. They just had their house tour, they do every year for Christmas. So we decorated, and if you come through Freeport, come after 4:30 and take a look at our windows. They're beautiful. One of my board members, and she's on the borough, Lori, I don't know where you are, Lori, probably hiding back there, came over and helped decorate the windows. We used Renaissance decorations. We put the whole front, it's beautiful, you have to see it. People stop to get their picture taken in our doorway because it looks so pretty. But we participated the day they had the parade in Freeport and the house tour, and we had a woman from Freeport make us a bunch of cloth bags that we tied with a little piece of twine. We filled them with popcorn. I have this awesome popcorn maker in my office. We had over 100 people come in for popcorn and taking pictures throughout the flag office. It was a wonderful partnership that we did with Renaissance, and we hope to grow that. We're very much involved with the Apollo Area Business Association. They are a newly formed business group, maybe in about the past year. If you're from the area, please think about joining them. They're excellent. They're movers and shakers. They have all kind of events going on and working on downtown types of issues. They have included FLAG as part of their 5-year plan. So I think that's pretty significant to say that this business association values what FLAG does enough to make us part of their 5-year strategic plan. And I love that. And I go to their meetings, and you have to get to know them. One of the other things I'm doing is I'm serving on a study committee right now with PDC, which is the Pennsylvania Downtown Center, and DCNR, Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. DCNR is doing a study right now on river towns. Guess what? We're river towns. And they heard about our project with PennDOT and invited me to come serve on this committee. And the idea is we're going to be about a year in doing planning and learning, but they want to put out some money for some regional marketing and help us nationally market these 3 towns. That's huge. And that's a big organization. So there is possibility of some funding coming from that. And of course, we partner with the Kiski Greenway, and they were here at last year's meeting, if you remember, talking about they were collecting information because they were going to look for money for different things. We're going to be working with them to apply for grants for things like signs in the gateways, public art, things that they identified through their community study that we might want to do to help promote our town. At www.flagandpa, all one word, .org. You can do anything on that website. I have to give credit to Billy Joe, who puts up with me constantly calling and saying, what are you doing? What do I do? Sometimes I don't even ask her what she's doing. I just say, what do I do with this page? How do I get this on here? So she helped me build it and put some things in it. It's growing. But you can go on there. If you're interested in a facade grant, it gives you all the guidelines. It gives you the application. You have the opportunity to complete the application and submit it electronically or print it out and do it the old-fashioned way. You can do pledges. You can buy tickets to the Flagorama. It talks about our mission. It shows you all kind of things, anything about FLAG, and it'll continue to grow. As we grow, it'll continue to grow. We didn't really have a website, and it's important today. If people want to give you money or people want to know about your town, they're going on there. And one of the things we're adding right now are business lists. So we're done with Leechburg. It's up there. We have all the business listings in there. If they have a phone number, the phone number's there. If they have a website, it's there. We're going to try and keep it up. So if any of you know of somebody coming in or going out, let me know, and we'll make sure we're going to try to keep that update. There's a section that's on municipalities. Every day somebody asks me, I want to open a business here. Where do I start? Who do I call? So we're trying to gather that information from each town so they know this is where you call to get your permits. This is where you call. This is the person that does this. Here's when the city council meet. Here's what time they meet. Borough councils here, I guess. But so we're trying to make that a valuable piece of information, and then eventually we're going to add the groups like LACA and like Renaissance and places like that. So if people are looking for places to volunteer or get involved, that they can go on that website and find it. And we have a QR code. It's over there on one of those. You know what a QR code is? Those little squiggly lines, and if you have a smartphone, you can put it there and it'll take you right to our site. Flag has one. So now we have a QR code and we have it on our door, and it's going to be on everything everywhere so that people can just click on that and get to our site, and hopefully whatever their need is, I can connect them to the right person or group that they need to be with. One of the things we do, Flag has some really nice little display windows there in Freeport. And I could put Flag stuff in it, but I would like to support the businesses. That's what Flag's all about. How can we help promote businesses? So I put out a flyer asking any business who would like to advertise in our window. They have to do it. They have to come and set up their own window and take it up, but they can have a month to put their advertisement in our window. So far, we've had the Twisted Thistle. We've had ABC's Buzz Cafe. We've had the Red Rover gift basket. And we have the bed and breakfast from Leechburg scheduled for in the spring. So you have an opportunity too. If you would like to advertise your business, you have to put the window together, and we'll help you if you need help. Like if you're just somebody that I'm not good at design, but here's all the stuff, you know, we can do that too. But I think it's great, and I'm looking for places in Leechburg and Apollo who might have an empty storefront or may have some room in their display window that they would let businesses from Freeport and Apollo, you know, it's regional. I get a lot of flack sometimes, like, why are you putting that in here? We're Freeport and they're from Leechburg. We're a regional program, and we have to start to promote ourselves that way. We have so many more assets when we put them all together than just our little pocket full. So we want to try and get as much out there. And if you have a space that you think, or if you know the people who have empty storefronts who would let us put something in those, that would be great. And one of the reasons you're here tonight is we want to talk about the next year's funding. Here's some great news. When I came in December last year, they said, well, this guy right here, he was the one, he's responsible for me. So he said to me, I know where there's this job, but it might not be there for very long. And there might not be a lot of money. You want it? Who wouldn't, right? So I said, okay, I'll listen. So the board did say to me, well, you know, we think that funding runs out June of 2013. You know what that means? I'm out the door. Do I want a job that's like going to be gone in a year? But like I told you, this board, they're like magic. You know, after sitting there for an hour talking to them and seeing their dedication, I thought, I have a lot of skills that I could help. I'm going to do it. So I took it. And we've all been dreading June 2013 coming. But then two of my board members, Vicki and Bonnie, decided, well, we're going to ask. Can't hurt to ask, right? They drove to Harrisburg. And they met me. I was up there for training, and we scheduled a meeting with the powers that be to find out about funding. Vicki says, please, can't you give us one more year? We're so close. We're so close. Just one more year. And the woman shook her head. And then she goes, wait a minute. What year are you in? This is our third year. Oh, well, you get 5 years. So not only did she agree to one more year, but 2 more years. 2 more years of flag funding. The catch? We have to apply each of those 2 years to get it. But with results like we see up here, we have every chance of getting it. And so she said, if the county will agree, because they have to be our funding pass-through group, you can get those 2 additional years. Well, give us 2 more years. And to build partnerships, to raise money, to make our towns magnificent. If we do that in the next 2 years and we can prove it to them, guess what? They're going to give us 5 more years after that with additional funds. So coming into a program that might not be there too long, heading into 7 more years of success and growth in our 3 little towns? Are you kidding me? It's a dream job. I love it. So that's where the state of Flag is right now. We've done a whole bunch of good. And I was so excited to pull all of this and show it to my board, maybe the first couple months I was there, correct, Vicki? I said, "Oh, I got to tell you something." They came to the board meeting. I said, "You know how you thought you didn't do anything?" "Yeah." I said, "Look at this." And when you pull it all together and you start to step back and say, this little bit of money, these little towns, these small businesses, we can do it. We did it. We're going to do more. I'm confident in that, and I'm confident that everyone here tonight is going to step up to the plate and help. FLAG is the up-and-coming organization in these 3 towns. You are somebody. You will be even more if you participate and get involved with FLAG and all the things that are doing. There are volunteer opportunity applications up here. We need people on committees. We need people on boards. We need people who don't want to do any of those things but have a special talent that they're willing to share. And if you don't know what your talent is, talk to me. I'll find it. I'll figure it out for you, and I'll help you do it. One of the things we have to do to be able to apply for that money is have a public meeting and let you know that with the blessing of the county, Armstrong County, we would like to reapply for 2 more years of funding. The first year of funding, which will be our year 4, and then the 5th year, should bring us around $75,000 for the 2 years, plus an additional $30,000 for facades. But we have to match that. We have to show the state we can match that, but I'm confident we can. And if we can do that in this next 2 years, we've got 5 more years of funding, and they're talking about $60,000 a year for funding facades and development and other things that these businesses need. It's right here. Help me grab it. That's what I'm asking you. Just help me. I promise. I'm committed. I'm staying. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to work with you. But together, we can make that happen. So I thank you all for coming and listening to me tonight. I hope you stay and eat and drink and talk some more. Take some volunteer apps. I'm just going to take these and start passing them. If you take one and pass it around, that's our pledge letters. Oh, I'm sorry. Vicki was going to do it for me. There's our pledge letters. Check us out on the website. Thank you all very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. I hope you have a great holiday. And stop in and see me at FLAG. I would love to show you around and tell you more about us.